All right. So, first, we'll get started with our guided meditation portion of the evening. And if you're not familiar with guided meditation or you're not familiar with mindfulness, that's just fine because chances are you're doing it already in some way, shape, or form. And all the mindfulness practices is paying attention to where you have your attention. And a lot of the time during the day, we may feel like we get lost in thought. And sometimes it feels like a daydream. Sometimes it feels nice. But other times it feels like we are getting pulled in a certain direction. And it doesn't feel nice. That's when we're kind of finding ourselves caught in worries about the future or regrets about the past. And it can be nice to enjoy a daydream, but we want to make sure that we still have our hands on the steering wheel. So for the next 10 to 15 minutes, we'll practice refocusing our attention onto what is it like to breathe. And you may notice that thoughts come up, or you may notice there's distractions of sound, sensation, your arm itches, something like that. And that's just fine. That becomes part of the practice as well. We don't have to judge it. We just get to bring our attention back to what is it like to breathe. And I'll give you a little bit of guidance on several key points of the body where you can pay attention to the breath sensation. So wherever you might be at home, go ahead and find a comfortable position that you feel like you could stick with for the next 10 to 15 minutes. And we'll go ahead and get started with, let's do the sound of a bell as the centering thing for us tonight. So what I want you all to do is listen to the sound of the bell and see if you can notice the exact moment when you can no longer hear the sound. And I'm kind of cheating because I have the actual bowl here. But I like to start off our practice with that because even if you've never meditated before in your life, you've just proven to yourself that you can focus your attention on the one thing, just the sound of the bell, for that 10 to 15 seconds that it was ringing for you. And so knowing that we already have our hands on the steering wheel, go ahead and check in with your physical body. Make sure that your seated posture or lying down posture is one that embodies relaxed awareness. This isn't a stoic practice in the traditional sense of the word. Finding an easy seat. Something that supports us, holds us up. You might imagine that you're growing both upward and rooting downward at the same time. Finding a position that feels secure, more so than anything else. And as long as we are in a safe space physically, we have the ability to gift ourselves with a feeling of safety, feeling of security as well. And so in our steady seated position, become aware of the natural breath cycle. You don't have to change it. You don't have to think about taking bigger or deeper breaths. You're just getting acquainted with this process that's always happening, whether we attend to it or not. You might feel drawn to focus on the breath at one point more than another. Perhaps a cool breeze coming in and out of the nostrils. Slightly warmer air passing through the back of the throat. Gentle expansion upward and outward of the rib cage with each in-breath. Natural recoil and relaxation with the out breath. Using the sound of the bell, and see if we can really listen. Really pay attention to the sound, the sensation, awareness of our own breath. And breathing in, I follow my in-breath from beginning to end. And seeing if you can notice a slight pause near the inhalation, and it turns around and becomes an exhalation. And with each out breath, I'll follow my exhalation from beginning to end. And breathing in and out effortlessly. And I'll become aware of the entire breath cycle. The joy of the in-breath, bringing in healing oxygen. And seeing the out-breath as an opportunity to release tension. And at any point in time, you might notice that you've lost the breath or lost an awareness of the sound of the bell. And if you find yourself caught in thought and distracted by something in your environment or mine, you've already caught yourself. And without judgment, this is an opportunity to engage in the practice of refocusing awareness. Whatever the distraction may be, whatever the thought may be, can we come back and think about it later? Can you let that go and come back to the breath sensation? Breathing in and out easily. I'll become aware of my wandering mind. And when we let these thoughts go, let these distractions go, we have the opportunity to come back to a place of stillness. And this is how we calm our mind. And you can do this at any given moment. And breathing in and out easily. I calm my wandering mind. So I'm going to let us enjoy the last couple minutes of this meditation in relative silence. And see if you can find a feeling of a good stretch that happens with each in-breath. The expansion of the rib cage, circulation of oxygen into each and every one of your cells. And see if you can find the release of tension available with each out breath. And allowing yourself to become a little bit more relaxed with each progressive breath cycle. And I'll bring us all back with the next sound of the bell. So go ahead and wiggle your fingers and toes. Make sure that there's circulation in your feet and hands. And see if you can kind of open the scope of awareness to bring you back into whatever room you might be in right now. Remembering that we can carry this mindful energy that we have cultivated with us throughout the rest of our day. And as y'all are aware, Well, first off, thank you for joining me in that short practice. It's nice to kind of cut out time during my day for this. It keeps me rooted in a mindfulness practice. And for those of y'all on Zoom, I think y'all know that I'm one of the volunteer facilitators for the Dallas Meditation Center. And while I don't get paid for facilitating, the center still has its usual operational expenses during this time, even though we're not meeting in person. The link, let's see, the links to donate, are in the description of the YouTube stream. If you donate, I will always give you a shout out tomorrow because I'm live streaming Monday through Friday, noon, every day, guided meditation. For those of y'all on YouTube, I have my other group to take care of, but let's go ahead and say our closing affirmation and change gears. An intention for us to carry into the day. Countless beings we vow to free, ourselves included. Ceaseless afflictions we vow to end. Limitless truth doors we vow to open. The deepest paths of awakening we vow to realize. Amitabha, and I'll catch y'all on YouTube tomorrow at noon.